before my presentation, so I don't know whether I will do justice. But I also will not talk much about the Timbaktu Collective. We are working in different spheres. I'm going to only talk about the organic farming work that we have been doing. So, very briefly, we started working in 1990, and we work right now in 146 villages in 4 mandals of Anantapur district on these, basically on these 4 issues of ecology, women, children, and empowerment of disabled people. The organic farming actually has its roots in our work with women. In 1994, we initiated our work with women, and by 1997, we began promoting mutually aided cooperative societies. In 1998, we registered the first one. In 1999, the second one. By 2001, we had registered the third one. And in 2011, we registered the 4th one. And hello? 2003, the first 3 cooperatives were federated, and that's when they started talking about various different business enterprises that they wanted to take up as the cooperatives. In 2012, the last cooperative also became part of this federation. And as of June 2012, the federation has about 15,000 women from 146 villages, with a total capital base of about 79 or 78 million, which covers all their operating costs, and they are totally autonomous financially. Okay, so Anantapur district, we are in the map should be telling you where we are located, in the middle of the lower part of the peninsula. Anantapur district is now considered actually an arid region. And it slowly has been turning into a desert. Once the soils were quite rich, even in 1947 it had 11.5% forest area. And today it's an arid region and the second most drought prone in the country. It was, when I went to Anantapur district, that was 35 years ago, we still had mixed farming. And much of the population was quite food secure at that time. And we had diversified multi-cropping systems, and of course there was hardly any chemicals used. And today, out of the 2.7 million acres of arable land, 2.4 million acres is just a single annual crop. Almost all of the 2 million acres is underground monocrop. Smallholder farmers constitute 93% of the population, and they have become totally dependent on external inputs, seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, etc., and marketing. The problem that faces us is basically a complete change in the cropping pattern from mixed food crops to single monocrop. Drastic loss of tree cover because groundnut just cannot take any shape. So systematically all the trees have been cut down. And I mean, there are many more things about groundnut farming that I can talk about. Basically, this is Sahel repeated once more. I mean, Sahel was 40 or 50 years ahead of Anantapur district, and exactly what happened there possibly may be happening in Anantapur district. Sharp increase of chemical fertilizers and pesticides. It's doubled over the last 10 years. The sharp decrease in cattle population. 1960s, late 60s, we had a drought, post which, I mean, at that time they sold off a lot of the cattle, post which it just started decreasing. Cattle was not increasing, and the government decided that this is going to be a very good oil, edible oil production area, so they promoted groundnut. and with the promoting of groundnut as a monocrop using green revolution technology, the cattle was not really supported. The only cattle that was supported was Holsteins and Jerseys in that area, which of course failed catastrophically. And they also in certain areas castrated the local variety of cow bulls, and therefore the local variety of animal, the cow, the Halika variety, has become very non-restrictive. So I'm saying this because this is the impact of loss of animal on farming and soil and the nutrition level of the soil, which has become very drastically low in our district. And because of this loss of soil health, we've had increase in pests and diseases and decrease of yields. So 700,000 small and marginal farmers cultivate 80% of the land under rainfed conditions in Anantapur district. We found the possible solutions were diversify the crops with millets and pulses using organic methods, increase tree cover, biomass, floral diversity, bringing cattle and sheep back into agriculture, reduce external imports and lower capital expenses, promote collective processing, value addition, etc. These was what we thought would be the possible solutions. And so we began experimenting with soil health and agrobiodiversity in 98, 99. Started promoting organic farming about 300 farmers in 2005, 2006. By 2006, the Adishakti Women's Cooperative, and this is where I started out with the Women's Cooperative because they were the ones who initiated the idea of actually marketing produce. They started off with groundnut marketing and failed miserably, and then we thought that, well, let's try out this organic farming. And that was started by the Adishakti Women's Cooperative. By January 2008, about 840 farming families from 26 villages had signed up to join as organic farming groups. And by 2008, the farmers decided to form their own cooperative to procure, process, and market the produce that was being produced by them with the support of the collective. And that's when the Dhanni Farming and Marketing Cooperative Society was formed. So Dhanni Farming and Marketing